Was there a defining moment when a casting director, regular director, just said, "Oh, you're a character actor"? How did you know that?
Let's see. When I was younger, I got the opportunity to audition for some really good roles, and I was told I didn't get them because I have red hair. And literally, I remember one specifically where a great part, TV series, Canadian TV series, where the character I'm going for is beaten up very badly, and this other guy's buddy is killed, and my character is potentially on trial for being the killer. And the horrible secret is the other guy is his gay lover and they love each other dearly, but he doesn't want to say that because he's afraid his father will disown him. So obviously this is back in the 80s, early 90s, back when being gay was an issue. So I get to have this great couple of auditions, and there's so much pain and fear in the kid, my character, and I've got like a room full of 12 people weeping. And it was a great cathartic experience for me. And then I was told after, like, "Oh, you're great, but it's just the red hair." I was like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? You can dye it. Or, there are people who have red hair. We're not from Mars, you dick. And they're like, yeah, no. And I realized that I was never going to fit anybody's expectation. No one ever wrote in a script like, this really super good looking guy with slanty green eyes and freckles and red hair and kind of a dick, but kind of a lovable dick, walks in the room. Like, they don't do that. There was that, and then I remember I auditioned for this horrible, horrible piece of crap TV series called Silk Stockings, and the casting director, I think she was a character from The Simpsons, because this is back in the day she was smoking. She was smoking in the room like this. She talked like this the entire time. And I can't remember her name. She was skinny as a rail. I'm sure she had 12 cancers at the time. She's just talking like this the whole time. And I come in and I do the part. She's looking at my headshot resume shake. You're a good actor. Not really what you call a looker, but you're a good actor. I was like, what do you mean I'm not a looker? but I want to be a looker. My mom says I'm a looker. So it was just the experience of constantly being cast as the good-looking guy's best friend, or the person who eats the good-looking guy's dog, or the killer bad guy. It's just they assume that casting is very linear in its thought process, and I went from doing a bunch of movies and then dramas, and they're like, then I went to audition for Titus sitcom, and they're like, "Oh, Zack can't do sitcoms. He does dramatic film." And then I do Titus for 3 years, and then I go to doing dramatic film. Like, "Oh, Zack can't do dramatic film. He does Titus." And literally, it went back and forth over and over again. So I call myself a character actor because I become what is needed to get the job, as opposed to the job looking for me because I fit what they want. Does that make sense?
It does. So when you hear someone say something like that and put whatever meaning you want to it, what the casting director for Silk Stockings said, do you almost view yourself as a third person? Because you realize, she's not really referring to me, even though she is.
Right.
But you almost see yourself as like another entity at that point, so that you can keep doing this?
Yeah, you look at yourself and you think, what's the product I'm selling? Right? And, if you're Josh Duhamel, Josh is a great looking guy. Josh and I worked together on Transformers. He's a sweetheart. He's awesome. He's not getting jobs as the serial killer. He's getting jobs as the guy who finds a serial killer and beats him up, or the fireman who defeats the bad guys, or that he's, because when people look at him, he's a very handsome 6'4" guy. So they're like, we want a leading man. Boop, he hits that. Now, I'm not saying it's better for him because of that, because there's a lot of guys who look like that who don't have any work. I think in some ways it's easier for me to keep on finding roles to fit into. And like I said, it is, what are you selling? When I look like this, I've got glasses and a t-shirt and short hair, and I look very like I'm serious and professional. I put on a wig, long hair like I did in Blood Rain 2. I look sexy as fuck. I'm covered in tattoos. I did a movie where I was covered in tattoos, sort of longish hair, tattoos around here, all down here, tanned. It was a spray-on tan. Shut up. And I'm futzing with a guitar, which I cannot play guitar. Okay, cannot play the guitar. And the producer walks by and is like, "You should be a musician, because you look just like a musician." I'm like, "Might help if I could play an instrument, dumbass, or sing." But it's all about the perception of what you're selling. Now, but I didn't want to wear fake tattoos for the next 20 years and continuously try and sell that one thing. To me, it's something I put on. So I guess that's why I'm a character actor, because I blend into the character in order to fit the role, whereas other roles go after, they fit themselves around the performer. Did that make sense?
It does. What's your advice to actors who come out here and want to be that leading person? Because it's a bitter pill to swallow. Even if you're good looking, which you are, and for whatever reason, if those casting directors didn't see you as the leading man, how do you make that switch inside you that says, "Well, I still want to act"?
Well, I mean, it's again, back to the camera thing. It's such a different world that you can constantly be creating your own reality now. You don't need a 35mm camera. You don't need a Panavision freaking camera. You don't need a $1.3 million rig. You can have a $500 rig, and you can do it yourself and try. And you can put stuff on YouTube. And like, the actors now that are really interesting are the ones who do push themselves. And I think that paradigm has shifted massively. It's not just I'm Johnny Depp and everything, and now he's shifting it up again. But it's the Breaking Bads, the Game of Thrones, the shows that are pushing the limits of the character's envelope are the ones that are now being touted as the level of excellence, whereas before it wasn't. Before it was, "Oh, they're pretty. Right. Aren't they pretty? We all want to be pretty." And now you look at Sons of Anarchy. Freaking awesome show, but it's about the character, not just about the symmetry of the facial lines. Right. And I think anybody who's starting up now should look at that as an opportunity. Even if you're freaking gorgeous, play with that, because you can always go back to being beautiful, but try the ugliness. Look at again, Brad Pitt, but also Bruce Willis in 12 Monkeys. They both went wackadoo.
Charlize Theron.
Oh my God, a monster? Mm-hmm. Freaking awesome. Got her an Oscar.
Right.
And she's crazy hot.